Alright lads, we're back again. UFC 106 in the Apex. Michael Morales versus Gilbert Burns. I would have actually had this filmed a lot earlier, but my main issue is I didn't have this mic stand. I've been waiting for this boom. This only came in yesterday. I didn't have time to film this yesterday. So number card last week, 3-15. Jack Della done the business. Didn't have Jack Della down. Lock lost to Charles Raki, decided to lose. But let's not look at the negatives, let's just go through the positives and let's get down to the lock of the week.
Here is Super Sadiq Yusa!
Yes, so the lock this week is going to be Super Sadiq Yusuf. Now, Super Sadiq Yusuf has a really interesting stat that he has outstruck everyone in every one of his UFC fights besides Diego Lopez. He even outstruck Arnold Allen and Edson Barboza, which is really impressive. Now, the only issue that I kind of see with someone like Super Sadiq, the issue that I kind of see with Super Sadiq Yusuf is sometimes the range. I think he has to always be inside the pocket, but once he gets inside that pocket, it's a completely different game. He does land with extreme, volume. Now he is fighting Marlon Santos. Marlon Santos is the winner of the Ultimate Fighter this year. He's actually jumping up 15 pounds. Super Sadiq is fighting at 155 for the first time, 10 pounds he used to fight at 145. So at 155 he's taking a year off. Marlon Santos is pushing in 2 weeks notice. I'm not sure if the cardio is going to really go with him. Look, Marlon Santos, to me, I picked Francis Marshall to beat him, and Francis Marshall did beat him, just a robbery decision, because I guess they're still trying to have hype for the Ultimate Fighter. I don't know, but the main kind of thing I think I have in this is I think Super Sadiq Yusuf will actually use a striking very well on the inside. I think he's going to catch him. I think he's going to keep it out there. I think he's going to be able to keep it in the inside for most of the fight. He's going to be able to land leg kicks, and he's just going to be able to do overall damage. His strike credential is a lot higher than Marlon Santos as well. As I've said, he's outstruck all his opponents. He has a 59% strike rate. It should be something good. The grappling, if it goes to it, the takedowns are pretty much even on the stats. I would say Sadiq maybe has it on the cage side of grappling, keeping him on the cage. Maybe not when it hits the mat, but it probably won't hit the mat between these two. I think this will be just a straight up kickboxing/boxing style match, and I will go with Super Sadiq to take it. I think Super Sadiq will probably edge out 29-28 and the judges. I don't think he's going to win all three. Don't think he finishes him. I think that's a judges scorecard type affair. Next we'll go into the favourites. So here we are inside the favourites. This is going to be the ACA. Milky Mazel Costa. Now, Mazel Costa's a weird one for me, because every time I go against him, he wins. I have a weird feeling me picking him now, he's going to lose. But I am going to pick him because I think he is just that wild to be kind of the man to beat Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa's a gritty veteran and will give him a hard fight. I just believe that Milky Costa always seems to edge it on the judges' scorecards. He doesn't ever seem to do enough to win the fight in the judge. Like our eyes, most of the fans, I never really think he wins most of these fights, but the judges see it completely different. I think he might land the more strikes. It's my main issue here is when it hits the mat. If it hits the mat, Julian Erosa has that deep guillotine, and if he catches Costa in it, good night Irene. Now I don't see that happening, because I think Costa's not someone to just kind of sit into it like, some of the fighters that have fought him. It's a chance that he might just even do one himself. He's so unpredictable. He's kind of like Drake is almost. It's kind of like that Looney Tunes sort of whoopsie daisy style. Like, it doesn't really seem like he knows what the game plan is. It's come out and throw wild shit and hope it lands, and 99% of the time it lands. He's definitely a wild person. He definitely has a striking advantage here, not the grappling or wrestling. That's Julian Rosa's. But if it stays in the feet, I'd actually have a good chance of Milky Costa winning this. I do believe it's going to be a 29-28, pretty close judges split. I don't really see anything else. I just see Milky Costa being that crazy sort of guy that he always is in every single fight. Next we go on to Nusalon Rebeskic, I think is how you say his name. He's fighting Dustin Stusov. Now, look, Rebeskic, his brother isn't very good, but Nusalon has proved that he's pretty decent. He has 50 fights outside the UFC, so he has a lot of experience in MMA. I assume this is going to play well into him. Could see a finish in it. I don't really know. Like, the striking, for how well-rounded Nusalon actually is, I still think that he's the one who kind of dominates this. His striking, his grappling is better than Dustin Stusov. He has the better chin. He's better to not get finished. I really don't see anything else happening inside this fight. Maybe it being a stand-up bit of wrestling, just say maybe a 30-27 New Salon. I don't think he finishes the fight. I don't think Dustin will get finished. But I will say 30-27 pretty easily. Next, go on to Park. Now, Park is fighting Carlos Hernandez. This one's a weird one for me because I do think this is a massive challenge for Park. He came off the road to the UFC. His finishes and all his road to the UFC fights. He did only take out Shannon Ross in his last one. Not a exactly high-level opponent in the UFC. Carlos Hernandez is definitely going to be a hard test. But I think if this stays on the feet, Park has to stand up. If it hits the mat, I think Park can really kind of switch positions. I don't think he's gonna have urgency. He's not just gonna stay on his back and get his back taken and just sit there, lie there. Another decision for me. I don't see this having a finish. I could see Park winning it, maybe 29-28. It's pretty even between the two of them. Carlos Hernandez definitely a hard test. Carlos Hernandez has the wrestling over him, but I think the striking's Park's. I think it's two well-rounded guys going at it. Park for me on decision. And next we go into Matthias Camelo, who actually doesn't have a UFC picture, so if you're wondering why it's not like the silhouettes of the rest of them, he doesn't actually have one, so I had to go grab one from I don't know where. But look, he's coming in for the UFC debut against Gabe Green. And from watching a lot of his regional scene stuff from Carmelo, because I hadn't really seen him, he is a very, very slow striker. He kind of plants the feet. He looks to put everything into shots. But if he lands, you're going to sleep. This is where I think he's going to knock out Gabe Green. I think Gabe Green has, been knocked out, unfortunately, quite a bit recently. His Brian Battle lost, where he basically decided to push Brian Battle onto the side of the cage, stand straight in front of him, get caught and dropped. I would actually see the exact same thing happening here. I think Camelo, he's going to push him onto the cage. Camelo's going to land big and finish him. I take Camelo by knockout in this fight, and maybe even round 1 or 2, because Camelo is going to finish him, and I guarantee that Camelo's going to finish him. I might even do the bet of gone in a minute and 60 seconds, because there is a chance, to be honest. Gabe Green really, he's taking another, I think it's nearly 2-year break, I think it is, or year break. Gabe Green is taking a 2-year break. Now, Gabe Green has been finished by Brian Battle. He also has only lost to Ian Gary couldn't finish a wank, let alone a fight, so that doesn't come as much of a shock to me. Brian Battle caught him. I go in under 60 seconds. He hasn't been in the promotion for 2 years. If he goes for a wild brawl with someone like Camelo is just going to stand on the side of the cage and hit him with the exact same Brian Battle helmet. But look, we'll get down to the underdogs. And there's only going to be 2 options for the underdogs. I am going to offer in a third here. I'm going to go with Gillbert Burns. I think Gillbert Burns might upset Michael Morales tonight and pull out a gritty veteran performance, but he's not here to say it at any time. So just take Gillbert Burns as a chance. I do believe that Gillbert Burns is not washed, and I believe that Gillbert Burns can pull out the stuff. In striking, I still think he matches Morales, and in grappling, I still think he matches him. I don't think he's washed. He's gotten very, very hard opponents. He lost to the former champ. He did break his arm in the first round, hit him with a great knee and finished him. Gilbert Burns is nowhere near washed. I don't want to hear this talk. He's going to show Michael Morales that he's still there. But look, let's get down to the underdogs. So we're going to start with Thiago Mazai. He's fighting Jared Gooden. So both these fighters will basically go for a takedown of fight. Jared Gooden is 62% takedown defense. Thiago Mazai is 35% takedown accuracy. So looking at it, the strikes is on, Gooden's side, and that's fine. Thiago Mazai has never really been a striker. I just believe that Jared Gordon is going to jump into a sort of takedown, and Thiago Mazai is going to grab in that lethal guillotine and tap him. That's what I believe. I think he's going to basically rush a takedown to try to get him down. I think that the submission will be there. Monster guillotine from Thiago Mazai, or else it's going to be a very, very competitive wrestling kind of grappling match, and I still see Mazai taking that at evens. I think evens is a bit mad. I'm going to take Mazai, and then I know everyone's looking at this one right here, kind of like what's going on. Paul Craig, I'm taking Bear Jew. I believe the man at 4-1 still has it in the tank to win this fight. Back at 205, not happening to cripple himself down to 185. Look, he's on a skid. He's on a skid. Let's just get the wolf out of the cage. Let's just get the fucking elephant in the room. He's on a skid. He's been finished by Kai Bahalio. He went to that very boring decision with Bo Nickel. He's been submitted by Brandon Allen. All top guys in the division. And to be honest, to me, Belento is nowhere near any of them. He is nowhere near top of the division. This is the type of fights that I keep saying in my matchmaking videos that Paul Craig should have. Welcoming a guy new into the division that is small enough that you can make a name off it. And look, I'm going to be honest, Paul Craig is very good now, is really good. He can still beat him. I don't think that there's that much to really ponder here. Now, the only issue with Paul Craig is his entries and takedowns aren't very, very good. For how good of a submission artist he is, if it hits the mat, Paul Craig's going to submit him. But it's the lack of submissions by Paul Craig that kind of kills this with his takedowns. Now, what I can see is from Beanto's stuff, from his Victor Petrino's losses and everything, that he just comes in for firefights. And look, Paul Craig's chin is questionable, he's chinny, but I think he could actually survive some of these. I believe that if Beanto starts to fire off at Paul Craig, I have a feeling he could maybe slip something, get in the underhooks and get him down to the mat, because if Paul Craig gets him down to the mat, this fight's over. If you watch the Jimmy Crute fight, Beanto looked fucking confused. I don't think he's fought a high level competition like this. Victor Petrino is not high level. He's been submitted in one of the dumbest guillotines ever by Anthony Smith. He literally just picked him up and got guillotined. So your two losses, him and the Brazilian regional scene, fought cans otherwise, came in, fought Jimmy Crute, who is a bit of a UFC veteran, looked absolutely dazed, confused, bug-eyed, had no idea what to do, because he only has one style, it's brawl and small, that's it. If that doesn't work, he doesn't know what to do, and I honestly believe Paul Craig can drag him down or get this fight down to the mat. With Belanto shooting, I wouldn't be too surprised. He's done that a lot in the Jimmy Crute fight. He decided to sit on his back for a lot more than what I've expected. If he shoots against Paul Craig, I'm going to be honest, it's good night Irene. Take Paul Craig by submission. This is going to land, I'm telling you. Paul Craig by submission. I have a feeling he's going to try and get Paul Craig down. Paul Craig will reverse, hit him in an arm triangle and submit him. Paul Craig is going to win this at 4-1. I'm just so confident in this, because Belito is useless. This is one of these ones where this is the fights I want Paul Craig to get. Stop giving him top 15 guys. Stop giving him guys that are going to push into the top rank. Stop doing it. Just give him the actual lads who are coming into the UFC to really test them. I'm picking Paul Craig. I'm rolling with Paul Craig. Now look, we'll go check the ACA. You add in Park. Camelo. Sabutin. And Milky Costa. You get back 50 quid. So that's what the ACA is going to be. Costa, Rabayev, Camelo and Park, 10 on, 50 back. I think that's the way to play it. Back again next week to keep these going. We'll see how these do. Hopefully we're all good and we all land all of them. But anyways, if you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button or hit subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.